This is Edgar Allan Poe doll given to me by one of my teachers, Casey Harris. Dreaming dreams no mortal ever dared to dream before. The idea being that education is about not only learning each of the disciplines, but it's also about exploring the world of possibility and becoming familiar with what is out there and how that might inspire you to want to learn. So that's why I have the Edgar Allan Poe doll. I grew up in a family of 10. I'm the youngest. My mom constantly would say to me, the child who leads is the child who reads. And I wasn't a reader, I wanted to play sports all the time. So my mother paid me to read. For each book, I'd get in a certain amount of money. And her idea being that eventually I would fall in love with some book and become a reader, which was the case. I read a book by Roald Dahl called The BFG, and after that, she didn't have to pay me to read. And my father was an eccentric guy who started out as a Jesuit priest and went on to become a philosophy student and psychologist and Haitian art dealer and high-stakes poker player and father of 10. And he stayed home in the end, and my mother worked. And he believed in lots of things, but very specifically that there shouldn't be any rules in the house and that school stifled your creativity. So he tried to keep me out of school as much as possible. My family was committed to the idea of justice, and I think particularly, ironically, emphasized the disparity in the educational opportunities that the system provides to different students. In the back of my mind, there was always the idea that I'd like to be a part of the school system. I had, since I was young, entertained this idea that I might like to be the Secretary of Education. But I didn't want to go into teaching right away. And so the first thing I did was travel for a year. And then I worked for Senator Bill Bradley on his presidential campaign. And then I went to teach in the South Bronx. And simultaneously worked on a personal memoir that got published through Bloomsbury called An American Voter. So after teaching for 3 years, I decided to create the school. I felt certain that the key to any sound education was the ability to communicate well, and that if we didn't first establish that, we were doing a disservice to all the students within our building and within our system. And so this idea of creating a school that was dedicated to helping students learn to write clearly and read widely was something I felt inspired to do. So the Bronx Academy of Letters is a small public school, secondary school, serving students in grades 6 through 12, located in the Mott Haven section of the South Bronx. Our students are 90% Title I students. That means that they live below the poverty line, which is about $20,000 for a family of 4, and that's in New York City. This is the poorest congressional district in America. It opened in 2003. I was the founding principal. We had a team of about 5 teachers at the time. We now have about 80 teachers, and we've met with a lot of success. We went from being a brand new school to being a school with one of the highest A's on the city's accountability measures.